Hi, it's Elaine Colliar. I'm the 5 times world mind mapping champion, and I'm joined again this afternoon by Tony Buzan, the inventor of the most wonderful tool, the mind map. And today we're answering some of the most frequently asked questions that we get asked during our training and during our seminars. Today's question that we've got for Tony is, when you're reading someone else's mind map, should you read it clockwise or anti-clockwise?
That question comes from the dyadic philosophical school. It's got to be either this or that. And that is the way that most people academically and in their studies are thinking. Is it either going to be this or that? And the answer is, based on the mind map and its radiant nature, think about it. You know, you've got a mind map. Where are you going to start? And let's say you've got 7 branches. Where do I start? You are a radiant thinker. You are not a linear thinker. You don't need to be dyadic. Could you start your mind map from 2 p.m. or 2:30 a.m. or 7 p.m. or 7 a.m.? You could start anywhere. You can decide, and when you build your mind map, you don't start to read it. You read it in the way you want to, and the way you start, obviously, generally, is the whole thing. The mind map is a picture. It is worth thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of words because it's got lots of images in it. So that's your first. And then you can look anywhere and you can take any branch and then any other branch. See the whole territory and focus on where you want to go. And can you start clockwise? Yes, you can. And can you start anti-clockwise? Of course you can. And I wouldn't even like the word anti. You know, why is it again, you know, anti? Why boom, boom, boom? You can go either way you like, or many ways. I do recommend that generally you use many options in the way you read a mind map. In other words, you've got thousands of extra choices, more degrees of freedom, which the mind map gives you naturally as the constant universal gift. There are other theses in that really good question of yours. This way, that way, or boom, that way.
I had an experience with one of our other mind mapping trainers a few months ago. We were working with a young man who was left-handed. And I suggested to him that instead of creating his mind map going clockwise, he might find it easier to go anti-clockwise. And Philip thought I was being incredibly smart and there was something incredibly psychological going on. And it was only later, I confess, in the cafe over a cup of coffee when he asked me why did I suggest that this little left-handed lad started out anti-clockwise. It was nothing more complicated than, as a mum, I know how frustrating it is to get ink out of cuffs. And if you're left-handed and you're trying to draw a mind map clockwise, you're very often drawing on, you're dragging your cuff on wet ink. So suggesting to him that he went the way he wanted to go onto the clean paper rather than working over himself just kind of freed him up from, and freed his thinking up, and to move himself into the empty space of the mind map just by heading off in a different direction. But of course, because he created his mind map, knew exactly the way he wanted to read that mind map back. So for him, it was perfectly fine. But I agree with you, either or. It's not either or, sometimes it's all of the above when it comes to reading a mind map. So thank you very, very much.